Where dreamers dream, where dreams come true. There's no limit to what we can do. Turning no's to yes, leaving doubt behind, releasing the stress. We were born to shine.
You're now tuned in to the Sade Champagne Show. With the cast, Christina Renee, Rick and Melissa Wood, Lisa Leewalt, Veronika Esquivel Winters, Arianna Carde, and Ayokunle Falomo. Celebrity guest interviews, segments on health, wellness, creativity, entrepreneurship, spirituality, hot topics, and more. You're now tuned in to the Sade Champagne Show.
Good evening, everyone. That was Jess Glenn with Don't Be So Hard on Yourself. I love the message of this song, and it's a truth I want to drive home on the Sade Champagne Show. Welcome to the Season 2 premiere of the Sade Champagne Show on GrindHard Radio. We made it. I can't believe we have had 19 episodes of my radio show so far. This new season is going to be absolutely bananas. My cast and I miss you guys so much. We are back with a ton of brand new episodes and 2 new castmates whom you'll get to hear from tonight. Every episode is available on iTunes. Search the Sade Champagne Show, and you can download them for free. Also, my Sade Champagne YouTube channel is another place where you can listen to the show afterwards. Thanks to everyone for tuning in from all around the globe. All the episodes of my show are available at blogtalkradio.com/grindhard_radio. Also, if you are tuning in, you can see that the direct link to this episode are also on my Twitter and Facebook pages, so you can tune in at any time. Thank you to Travis Miller for creating and producing my show's theme song, and also thank you to Scott Swoosh for mixing it. If this is your first time listening, I'm a professional musical artist, performer, inspirational speaker, and entrepreneur. I have created, directed, and executive produced over 200 charitable and inspirational events, including my popular Power of a Dream tour. I love mentoring, coaching, authentically being myself, and using my platform to encourage, empower, and bring out the gold in others. Tonight's celebrity guest is fitness personality, inspirational speaker, trainer, and entrepreneur Lita Lewis. And also singer, songwriter, and worship leader Tim Wright will be featured on our first New Artist Spotlight segment of the season. My new castmates, Arianna Carde and Ayokunle Falomo, will be debuting their new segments, Supermodeling You and Sharing Your Story. Veronika Esquivel Winters also brought a brand new Wellness Made Simple segment where she'll be sharing how you can have a healthier digestive system. Also, someone is going to win a free Tim Wright CD tonight, so stay tuned in to find out how you can win. My Power of a Dream tour is always booking new shows and performances. This summer we will be in San Luis Obispo, Ventura, Oxnard, Orange County, Fresno, and more. We love traveling, and if you're looking to bring Power of a Dream tour or any of our award-winning, critically acclaimed artists or speakers to your city or event, please email me at SadeChampagneMusic@gmail.com. Once again, that's SadeChampagneMusic@gmail.com for more details. And also, if you look at my Facebook page, Sade Champagne, go to events and you'll see our full schedule and what we have coming up next. I'm really looking forward to our performance at the Orange County Fair. Lisa Leewalt, which you guys are familiar with her, she's one of the castmates on the show. We've been working on an amazing dance routine, and I've just been adding a lot of fun new dynamics to my show. And I love live performing, and so you guys are going to get to embark on that with us as well and enjoy it. And I'll be posting videos for those of you who are not able to attend live. Lastly, thank you to everyone who has been watching, sharing, and subscribing to all my new videos. I'm constantly writing new pieces and creating new songs, and I'm going into the recording studio soon. To find out more about my musical journey and how you can be involved, check out GoFundMe.com/Sade Champagne Music. Once again, that's GoFundMe.com/Sade Champagne Music. And I'm thankful to every single person who supports me, all you who believe in me. It means so much, and I'm very, very thankful. I will be live tweeting and posting on Facebook all show long, and I want to know your thoughts. Tweet me at SadeChampagne or Facebook me at Sade Champagne, Instagram me at I am Sade Champagne, hashtag Sade Champagne Show or GHR to join in the conversation. Shout out to everyone who's already been listening. You guys tweet me, you Facebook me, you Instagram, you YouTube, you email, you do all those amazing things. And your support just encourages me, it empowers me and my cast, and we are super thankful unto you. So we're going to get into our first segment of the night. This is one of our newest castmates. I am thrilled to have him on board. He's been a dear friend of mine for a few years now, and it's been great getting to know him and just, all about his story and who he is. He's such an inspiration and encouragement. This is Sharing Your Story. Join published author, speaker, and poet Ayokunle Falomo as he inspires you and shares tips on how to tell your own stories. Hashtag Sharing Your Story to ask him your questions and join in the conversation. Take it away, Ayokunle.
Hello. Thank you for the nice introduction, Sade. It is such a pleasure to be hosting this segment. It is a very honorable thing, I feel like, to be in this position, to share tips and also inspire you guys, the listener, to share your own stories. What I'm going to be doing for the very first episode is to share a little bit about my own story, so that you can get the chance to know who I am and the person who is going to be speaking to you over the course of the season. So, as Sade said, my name is Ayokunle Falomo, and I am a speaker, I'm an author, and I'm a poet. I take the role of a poet very seriously, maybe a little too seriously sometimes, but that is my function in the world right now, how I get to share stories. I see myself more as a storyteller, I would say, and I consider poetry to just be a medium. It is a medium. I feel like we should all get the chance to tell our stories, and we do, in fact, tell our stories in different ways. Yours might not be poetry. It might be something else. It might be fashion. It might be prose. It might be screenplay. It might be music. It might be just the fact that you exist and inspire other people to be who they are. In being yourself, you can allow another person to be who they are. The world, essentially our mode of operating in the world, living as human beings, is a story in itself. So I'm just excited. I really am to be a part of the grand story that we are telling, that we are wanting to tell. So my story, as I like to say, starts from Nigeria. I am Nigerian. That's where I'm from. That's where I was born, and that's where I lived until I was 17. Both my parents are Nigerians, and until 17, I came to the United States, Houston, Texas, specifically with my dad. And another story began from that. The story being the fact that Houston, Texas is a place that I have called home now for the past 8 years of my life. And also, it's giving me so many opportunities. The fact that I can actually now call myself a poet, the fact that I can now call myself a storyteller, I feel like I owe a lot to Houston for that. And I am always going to be grateful to that city for shaping essentially who I am as a influencer in the world. So I came here in 2017, 2007 rather. We're not in 2017 yet. 2007, I was 17, and teenager trying to figure himself out in the world, went through that phase. But I've been writing since I was very young, since I was 6 years old. So storytelling has been a thing for me, and that kind of started from observing, from looking around, from watching the people that I grew up with, and I realized, wow, they have a different story than I do, or than I did. The fact that they were from a different social class than we were, the fact that the way they lived, the kind of houses they lived, the kind of way they spoke was quite different from the way we lived. And unfortunately, I would say, because my parents were protective and they were sheltering, which can be a good thing, we kind of did not have the luxury, I would say, of interacting as much as I would have, at least, with the other folks around me, the folks that I grew up with. And so I just took time to learn about these people's stories. I feel like learning about other people's story kind of changes the way you see them, and so you can be better. You can be in a better position to empathize with their challenges, their difficulties. And that's the power of sharing your story, or the power of inspiring people to share their stories. And even if people can't share their stories, if you are in a position to tell powerful stories, I feel like that's an amazing gift to have. And so I was just watching and looking at these individuals, the way they lived their life, and I was curious. And that curiosity kind of started writing for me. And over the course of my lifetime, being that I started from 6 years old, I've gone through different mediums to tell stories. At some point, I was writing plays. At some point, I was very interested in becoming a film director. At some point, I was interested in publishing a novel. And now, come 2012, I would say that's when I kind of started, to really be interested in poetry. I did not used to like poetry. I was like, why does everything have to be complicated? Just say what you need to say. Like, why are you trying to... The sky is a magnificent replica of a vastness. I just say the sky is awesome. Like, why can't you say that? But I realized, wow, poetry is not just one thing, and I started studying more. And 2012 really began my journey as a poet, and other people started introducing me as a poet. I wrote poetry, sure, but other people started introducing me as a poet, and I began to take that as a responsibility. And I wrote a poem called Unmask, and in it I wrote a line which, of course, at the time wasn't intentional, but a year later I found out that it actually gave me a mission for what I want to accomplish as a poet. And that being the fact that I want to use my pen as a shovel to unearth everything that makes us human, everything that is human about us. That's what I am interested in sharing as a poet and as a storyteller. I am fascinated by this idea of humanity. I am fascinated by what makes us human. I am fascinated by our humanity. And I feel like the more we tell stories about our shared humanity, the fact that we have a stake in this story, in this grand story, that we each have a part in it. And interestingly, if you listen closely to other people's stories, you realize that our stories are not that different. And, for me, it essentially boils down to telling stories. I'm not really that concerned about the medium. You might call yourself a poet. You might call yourself something else. You might call yourself nothing at all. But poetry for me is a way to find answers to questions about life, ourselves and the world. And there are many other ways, of course, to try and find answers to the world. And my goal for this segment really is to inspire and also share what I can to encourage that. Again, I don't really care what you call it. I just want you to tell your own story. I want people to say, hey, this is my story. This is my claim on the world. And I'm excited to be a part of that in another person's development as a storyteller. Because yes, this grand story that we are all in this together, we're all in the same boat, I think is a story worth telling, to share our joy, our pain, our sadness, the beauty of this world. And so I'll leave you all with that. Again, I'm excited to be here, and I look forward to sharing more in the subsequent episodes. And so grab a pen, grab a microphone, tell your story.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ayokunle. That was really glad to have you tonight. And everyone, I will be playing some of his poetry throughout the season, so you're going to be able to hear him live, and it's just some of the most beautiful literature that I've ever heard and been able to experience.
Thank you, Sade.
Awesome. All right, we're going to get into our next segment of the night. This is our other newest cast member. She is so phenomenal, and I was just chatting with her earlier tonight. We are going to have a blast. This is our Supermodel in You segment. Join health enthusiast, model, and inspirational speaker Arianna Carde in creating a lifestyle of finding your inner supermodel, building your confidence, and creating your reality. Hashtag Supermodel in You to ask her your questions and join in the conversation. Go ahead, Arianna.
Hi, guys. Well, thank you for joining. With Supermodel in You, when you hear the word supermodel, one of the first things you may think of is beauty, superficial beauty. You probably thought I was going to be talking about good lighting and angles, which, we'll eventually get there. But I want to dig much deeper than that. What lies beneath and the light inside. I want to talk about confidence and inner beauty. Confidence affects every aspect of our lives. Wouldn't you agree, Sade? I would say
definitely.
You can bring confidence into your personal life, your work experience, and your personal relationships. When we aren't feeling our best, people can pick up on that, especially in photography. The camera sees everything. And you may ask, well, what is inner beauty? Your inner light is so bright that it starts radiating from your outer body. Your outer body may not be beautiful, but the light that comes from your sources, your innermost sources of eternal light, will make even your body, which may not be beautiful to the ordinary sense, appear beautiful and radiant. Dealing with a lack of confidence, we must be gentle with ourselves. No one is perfect, and we all have flaws. We all have issues. We are emotional creatures at that, no matter how hard society tries to make us. How we manage and deal with life is how we create our reality. We hold the power. Your mind is your instrument. Learn to master it and not be its slave. Every day, we must create healthy habits. Getting out of bed some days can be very challenging and a task in itself. You can feel very overworked or just down and out with life, emotionally depleted and losing motivation. But every day brings new possibilities. We must remind ourselves, though, one baby step at a time, and not get overwhelmed with the pressure of life. Take one thought at a time. We have the choice. learn to control your thoughts. When a negative thought comes in, cautiously stop yourself and say, no, I am amazing. We can do this. I say we because we're putting this in God's hands. This is a time to partake in activities that brings joy and happiness. One thing that always helps me is music. Putting on your favorite song, letting go mentally and physically. Shoot. Even if you need to bust out with a dance or two. Even getting outside for some fresh air and sunlight. Whatever it may be. Working out, running, riding horses, paintballing, singing, swimming, painting, you name it. I want you to do that. When we are doing this, we love and we make happy life choices. Light can't help but radiate from us. When we get into these times and we're not feeling the most confident, life can be challenging. It can be hard. But that's where the healthy lifestyle comes into play. And I want to share with you guys a daily affirmation, something that I like to turn to when I'm feeling down and out. And I'm going to leave this here for you guys. So, something I want you to say is, I am prosperous. I am healthy. I am happy. I live in abundance. I open myself to the beauty and joy and harmony of the universe, and I enjoy it. I love and respect myself at all times. There are no failures. I learn from everything I do. I move beyond forgiveness. I understand and I have compassion and kindness for myself and others. I open my heart to love and I radiate love. Namaste. That said, the supermodel in you is that light that we all have, that love, that confidence, our inner beauty. So, with that said, everybody, I want you to go out there, live a happiest life, and just rock the supermodel in you. And remember, we are all just loving creatures, and it's okay. Not every day is going to be perfect. We're going to have hard times. Even when it seems like someone else's life is together, we all have our issues. So.
That's so good, Arianna. I like what you were talking about because, it's true, like you said, a lot of things do have to do with physical. Like sometimes I found the most spiritual thing I can do is take a nap because you think that you're all agitated and all these things are happening, and really I just need a little bit more rest. You know what I mean? Some very simple things that play into that. I might just need, to drink more water. And I think it's, very vital what you were sharing about is the supermodel and how we want to take this segment. We want to take back from how society has viewed women to only be physical creatures as far as, objectifying us and what we look like on the outside, but showing it's also even more importantly about who we are on the inside and allowing that to radiate, from within.
Absolutely, yes. And that is what I want to, deliver to our listeners and, really connect with everybody on a deeper level and bring the supermodel out in everyone and, let our viewers understand that, beauty is so much deeper and it's that inner beauty and that light that's inside that matters most,
And it's cool, too, because you were saying we don't only do life and live this on our own. We have God on our side. He's the one empowering us. And as we're able to see ourselves the way that he sees us, that brings such a difference to our lives, and then being able to see those positive things in ourselves is so much easier, instead of only just me seeing the negative. Now I can say, like, no, I'm fine right where I am. I'm exactly where I need to be at this particular time. God is working out all things in my favor. I can be confident in who I am, and I can work it in my pictures no matter what size I am, no matter how light or dark I am, no matter anything.
Exactly. And that's why, at the end of the day, we really just have to put it in God's hands and rejoice in him, because when we can just let go of all of our self-inflicted fears and limitations and doubts and self-image and just accept ourselves for who we are, then that's when we are able to radiate and, put that energy out there and take these pictures and feel comfortable to take pictures. And ultimately, I think that's about, why we need to find our confidence. And, confidence, where I'm trying to get at with this confidence is how it affects us in so many ways, because it affects us, even taking pictures, because, again, the camera picks up on everything. So when you aren't feeling your best and you don't feel good about yourself, it's kind of hard to hide that. The camera, you're going to see it. And that's where you have to really work on that inner beauty and the inner self-love, and look yourself in the mirror and, really accept yourself for who you are and realize what you have to offer, the love, the support, and, that you have. And, just really move forward with that. And I think, our society has become very superficial, and just very surface. So I think, that's where we need to bring the compassion and love back for humanity in our society, because there's so much, anger out there right now, and just tension. And, it's showing on us. It's showing on us as a society, the tension that has been building. And, even just these lifestyles. That's why lifestyle plays a huge part in everything that we do, because that affects, how we feel. It affects how we look. It affects how we think. So, and I think now we're starting to see that, as a nation, of our choices, and which direction we're going. And now we're kind of, feeding our brain different food, eating different food, and being cautious of the, stuff that we're partaking in.
That was so awesome. I want to thank you so much, Arianna, for your amazing Supermodel and You segment. I look forward to hearing more, this season and engaging more with you. I feel like our next song is perfect to go with what Ayokunle was talking about, and also you as well. Next up, we have Jordan Smith with Settle. He's one of my most favorite artists ever. He won The Voice the season before last. And he's just such an inspirational person, an inspirational artist. And this song, I think, will encourage all of our listeners. And so this is Jordan Smith with Settle. Keep listening to the Sade Champagne Show on GrindHard Radio.
Welcome to Season 2 of the Sade Champagne Show on GrindHard Radio. We are an inspirational, entertainment, and music-based talk show with interchanging segments on wellness, health, fashion, entrepreneurship, dream building, spirituality, charities, and other fascinating topics. We interview special guests and celebrities each week, play music from my favorite artists, and engage with our listeners through Q&As, contests, and much more. We are not afraid to push the envelope and challenge traditional thinking. Every episode is different than the one before, and we are committed to bringing the highest quality content that is sure to entertain, empower, and encourage. We look forward to having you with us every Wednesday from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Pacific Time right here on GrindHard Radio.
Hi, you're tuned in to GrindHard Radio. This is Ayokunle Falomo from the Sharing Your Story segment on the Sade Champagne Show. Keep listening.
Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to the Season 2 premiere of the Sade Champagne Show on GrindHard Radio. I am just simply amazed and so thankful that we have made it to Season 2. We are 19 episodes in already. Our next segment of the night is Wellness Made Simple with Veronika. Join certified holistic life coach, clinical aromatherapist, and inspirational speaker Veronika Esquivel Winters to get some easy and practical tips on how to start living a holistic life, bringing unity to your mind, body, and spirit. Hashtag Wellness Made Simple to ask her your health and wellness questions and join in the conversation.
Hi, this is Veronika Esquivel Winters with the Wellness Made Simple segment on the Sade Champagne Show. Today on Wellness Made Simple, we're going to be discussing what it looks like to have a healthy digestive system, the benefits of having a healthy digestive system, and I'll also be sharing some quick and easy tips on how to restore your digestive system and how to be on your way to have a healthy digestive system. The gut is a critical group of organs that we need to start paying more attention to. This can be the secret to improving our overall wellness. Our gut lining is the core of our body's immune system. The gut's lining houses an independent network of hundreds of millions of neurons called the enteric nervous system. It's so complex and influential that scientists refer to it as the second brain. Cells in the gut lining also produce 95% of the serotonin, also known as the joy chemical in our bodies. Because of the serotonin being produced in the gut, our gut and brain are in constant contact with one another. This is why experts say that our gut can affect our moods and how we feel. There's also hundreds of types of bacteria in the gut. Some are very beneficial, like breaking down carbohydrates in the intestines and produce infection-fighting antibodies and vitamins. Others do the opposite and secrete toxins and promote disease. One of the goals to a healthy gut is to allow the good bacteria far outnumber the bad. Stress, depression, or being anxious could change the way your bowels contract and how your immune system functions, and that could change the type of bacteria in the small intestine and colon. Now that we've gained awareness of how we can balance and improve our digestive system, let's go over a few easy and helpful tips for a healthy gut and digestive system. One of the first things we can do is start eating a high-fiber diet. Vegetables, grains, legumes, and fruits can improve your digestive health. A high-fiber diet helps keep food moving through your digestive tract. This also can help you achieve or maintain a healthy weight. Here's a small list and examples of high-fiber foods: avocados, Asian pears, berries, coconuts, figs, artichokes, peas, acorn squash, Brussels sprouts, black beans, chickpeas, lima beans, lentils, nuts, flax seeds, chia seeds, and quinoa. The second thing you can do is incorporate probiotics into your diet. Probiotics enhance nutrient absorption and strengthen our immune systems. They also contain healthy bacteria that are naturally present in our digestive tract. Some examples of probiotic foods are Greek yogurt made from goat milk, preferably plain, kefir, sauerkraut, dark chocolate, microalgae, for example, spirulina, chlorella, and blue-green algae, miso soup, pickles, tempeh, kimchi, kombucha tea, probiotic supplements, and there's also BioK Plus, which is made from dairy or rice. Another key thing is to stay hydrated. This helps dissolve fats and soluble fiber, allowing these substances to pass through easily. Drink at least 8 glasses of water a day, preferably alkalized water. Eating on schedule is also very important. This aids in helping your digestive system stay in top shape. Try to sit down for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks around the same time each day. Next is exercise regularly. When we exercise regularly, it helps keep foods moving through our digestive system, reducing constipation. It helps our digestive system keep flowing. Last but not least, manage your stress. Stress and anxiety is known to cause your digestive system to go into overdrive. Find stress-reducing activities that you enjoy, such as yoga, meditation, gardening, breathing exercises, surfing, hiking, and practice them on a regular basis. Now that you've gathered some tips to get started, remember to be kind and gentle to yourself and start where you're at. You can either choose to do all of the tips at once, or you can pick one that stands out to you and works best for you. The whole point is that you do it while you're enjoying it and stress-free. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Wellness Made Simple segment. This is Veronika Esquivel Winters on the Sade Champagne Show. Till next time, take care and be in good health.
Thank you, Veronika, for another stellar Wellness Made Simple segment. Now, I have a dear friend of mine on the line. This is our first new artist spotlight segment of Season 2. Tim Wright is a singer, songwriter, and worship leader. His passion is to lead people through song into an experience with the manifest presence of God. Tim's original songs inspire passionate worship and resonate with lyrics that awaken hearts to the all-inclusive love and grace of Jesus. He travels from time to time, leading worship and preaching the good news. On Sundays, Tim leads worship at the River Christian Fellowship in Empire, Ohio. Tim released his first album, Satisfied, live at Dreamhouse this past October. It is available worldwide. I have an extra copy of his phenomenal album, and someone is going to win it tonight at the end of the show. So make sure you keep listening in to win this phenomenal CD. Tim is married to his beautiful wife, Emily, and they have one amazing daughter, Charlotte Vivian. They live in East Liverpool, Ohio, otherwise known as the Ohio Valley. Welcome, Tim Wright. Hey, Tim, how are you doing tonight?
Hey, Sade, I'm doing great. What a marvelous introduction. Thank you for having me.
We are glad to feature you for our first new artist spotlight segment on Season 2 of the Sade Champagne Show on GrindHard Radio.
It's an honor to be here, and hello to everybody listening. That's awesome.
So when did your interest first spark in music, and how did you know you wanted this to be your life?
Oh, man, well, I grew up in church and just around church music, you know. And I started playing drums when I was 8 years old. And my mom told me that even when I was in the womb still, I was always like kicking and felt like I was playing drums, she said. And then when I was little, I was always tapping on stuff. So I don't know, it's like the music's always been in me. But yeah, it's my love for music kind of blossomed from the age of 13 when me and some buddies got together with our, electric guitars and drum set and started a little punk band when I was 13. Mm-hmm. So, and it just kind of blossomed from there. So, yeah.
Awesome. And have you always been a man of faith?
Oh, I kind of remember God's presence always being a part of my life, Thanks to my mom and my dad, I've been in church, and I would say that I've went from, believing in a God most of my life, but understanding what that God's like and how good that God is has definitely taken on a transformation. But, yeah, I'd say, God's definitely been a part of my life, even since I was a child.
Mhm. And so,
yeah.
Tell us about a time in your life, whether it can be through music or through life in general, when you wanted to quit, and how did you overcome that moment? Whether it be even in your faith, your dreams, you can, tell us about that.
Yeah. Well, I had when I was actually living out in Los Angeles, California, a good many years ago. This was around 2004, and I had played in a bunch of different punk bands and was kind of living the lifestyle of a rock star as far as just a lot of crazy living and everything, but just sort of a general emptiness to my life, and I sort of was doing the best that I could to callous the voice of God in my life. I wanted, I would just be driving down the road and I'd hear a certain song on the radio station and I just feel God's pull on my heart, because I knew I had a calling on my life. I knew the presence of God since I was young, but I just didn't want to be a Christian artist. I didn't want anything really to do with the idea of the church stuff, you know what I mean? I just wanted to be out doing my own thing and be a successful, famous artist. And but anyway, a lot of that just kind of came unraveled, and I ended up coming back from Los Angeles with this album and did a big release concert in my hometown of Pennsylvania, and I was going to do this big concert and go right back to Los Angeles with the people that I was working with and to the lifestyle I was living out there. And the day before I went to go back, my car that I had left out in Los Angeles, somebody ran into it. Just a total totally wrecked it, and the car was parked
wow.
behind the house. To this day, I don't know. It doesn't make sense why someone even could run into the car, but they did, and like that closed the door for me at the time to go back there, and it was just sort of a God intervention. And and anyway, so I was stuck in my, in Emporium, Pennsylvania, which is where I grew up, and I was like, what am I going to do now? I got all these CDs, and I don't know what I'm going to do. And so there was and I'm wrapping this up here. I'm sorry. There was a pastor.
No, that's okay. This is interesting. Tell us.
Yeah. So, well, good. I'm glad. There was a pastor from West Africa named Albert, and my mom and my stepdad, who did missionary work over to West Africa and helped support an orphanage there. They knew him, and they were hosting him to come do some preaching in my little hometown. So anyway, he came, and he was a big part of God touching my life at that time, because he said, I'll help you better present your music to a bunch of people. And he went out to the bars with me when I was singing, and he said, if I'll help you with your music, but here's the deal: you need to come to my preaching meetings and sing your songs with me at the churches. And he said, that's all I want. He said, I'll help you with your music, and I'll go to the bars with you, and kind of, because he knew what I wanted was success. So he said, I'll help you get there. But what you need to do is bring your CDs, bring your songs and come sing for me. And so I thought, well, I grew up singing in church. I can do that. And so about a month, I sang at different meetings with Albert and sang at different worship services. But I was just singing my songs that I had wrote. They weren't actually intentional worship songs or whatever. And people just started experiencing, God's presence, and the power of God was moving. And there I am, caught up in the middle of it. And I explain it like this, it's like when you're starving and you smell really good food, it doesn't take much common sense to eat something. And that's what it was like. I mean, I just began to feel that love of Jesus, that was better than anything I had tried to fill my life with. And so after a month of just kind of being in the right place with the right people in the presence of God, using my giftings, I was in my car the one day after Albert had went back to West Africa, and I just said, okay, Lord, I don't want to just know about you. I know that you're real. I don't want to just have a scripture. I don't want to study the Bible. I want to know you, and I want you to possess me. I know this is real. I just want you. I want all of you. And so anyway, the presence of God just filled the car, and I started weeping, and I just felt His forgiveness and His love. And so anyway, that was all back in 2004 or 5, maybe 2005. So it's been like 11 years ago, but. So anyway, I tried to put that in a nutshell. Sorry, I know it was a bit long.
That's okay. I think what was really powerful, what you said, and I want to share with our listeners, is, there's nothing wrong with pursuing your passions and your aspirations, but it's the intention. When people are wanting to pursue that in order to feel approved, in order to feel worthy and valuable, in order to just get worldly success, I think that's when people end up in a lot of those, dangerous lifestyles, and they end up, feeling empty because we were meant to live from the overflow. We were meant to live from the passion in our hearts. So I think that's really powerful that you noticed there was a difference, and you just wanted to be successful, and as opposed to wanting to really make an impact through your music and wanting to just live from that overflow.
Yeah, absolutely, Sade. And to add to that, I will say that the dreams and the passions in our hearts are so from God. It's just that the trouble is that when our relationship, when we're pursuing those things out of the idea that they're what's going to make us happy or fulfill us, then that's where we usually end up, empty. But I have to say that now, after just, this encounter with God and just, kind of surrendering and just saying, you're enough, I have been more surprised with everything I've ever wanted, like music and all the touring. I've been around the world, all this stuff. And I always wanted to do that, but, it was like God wanted to surprise me with it after it wasn't about those things anymore. You know what I mean? So just to add to what you just said is so true, because, we're not giving up our dreams we're just realizing He's our dream and He's the source of our joy. And when He becomes the source, just like the Scripture says in Proverbs, we delight ourselves in the Lord, and that's when He gives us the desires of our hearts. So yeah, good stuff.
So tell us about your debut album, Satisfied, live at the Dream House, and how it came about. Give us a little details about that.
Well, absolutely, and thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, Sade. You could have had anybody on your show, and you picked me. I'm so honored.
And I'm glad to have you.
Thank you. Well, the album is really it's a manifestation of what we were just talking about, the dreams and all that stuff. And to segue from what I had just told you about the music and my story of coming to know the presence of God and all that, I had given up the idea of doing an album because I did an album out in California years and years ago. I tried to make it happen, and it just never worked out the way that I wanted it to. And so I basically told the Lord, look, I don't, unless you're in this thing, and you basically have to put this in my lap, and you've got to put it together for me, because I'm not smart enough to figure out all this stuff. I don't have the money to go into a studio. I don't have all this stuff. And the other thing was, Sade, is that I wanted to capture the sounds of what happens when we worship together in that place where people are experiencing His presence and like people are getting healed and just God's love is overwhelming. There's a sound to that. And there's an atmosphere to it. It's not like going into a regular studio and doing track by track. I kind of have to capture the whole experience of that live time. So anyway, all thanks to my friend John Crowder, who just as a plug for October, John Crowder and I will be touring all across the East Coast in October, and but it's because of John that I had the opportunity to record my album. It was during one of our stops on our last tour, and we went to Dream House, and the pastor there named Scott Crowder he came to me and he said, "Hey, I've heard your songs, and I want to help you make a live album." And he said, "I want to do it for free for you. I'm going to record it. I'm going to mix it. I'm going to master it. All you got to do is show up." And so that was the opportunity. I had told God that you got to hook me up for, and so we showed up that weekend for the conference with John, and there was like a few hundred people crammed into this little church, with an old wooden floor. Just real tiny with a steeple and everything. And it was like a punk rock show crammed into this old church, and it was just awesome. And we captured the sounds, and so anyway, it's awesome. I've never felt more confident about a recording that I've done that so captures, my heart and captures the message in my heart. So anyway, that happened. We released that in October of last year, and it's gone all around the world ever since on like iTunes and stuff like that. So
it's such a beautiful album, and I've had the pleasure, everyone listening of witnessing and seeing him live, and he has such a beautiful voice. When he was singing, I literally was looking at him. I was like, "Whoa!" I was like, "Your voice is so beautiful," and it's just, I'm a very animated person, and when I really love something, I share it with
Love
people,
your animation,
and I will
Sade. It's
promote
awesome.
it. And I would promote it, and I'll brag about people because that's just the kind of gal I am. And so I just was like, "Wow, your voice is absolutely beautiful." And I had to literally get his album, took a picture, posted it on my social media. I was like, "This guy has one of the most beautiful voices and one of the most friendly, loving, compassionate attitudes that I've ever seen." And so with you, with all your live services and also with your social media where you use that as a platform to encourage people, tell us quickly, what is one of your favorite testimonies that you've seen so far or witnessed or heard about so far during one of your services or via social media? And it can be any type of testimony, whether it be a physical healing, emotional, mental healing, which are my favorites, whichever one that you'd like to share.
Yes. Oh, well, thank you I'm so glad you mentioned that because it has been amazing over the last few weeks, or maybe months, I can't remember, but I think one of my favorite is a few Sundays back, as I lead worship from the piano at the river, I began to just kind of move in prophetic stuff. Prophetic meaning I began to pray and call out specific things in people's lives that that like the Spirit of God would show my heart. and then I'd begin to pray for them or declare, that God was going to change that situation for them. And I called two ladies that were in the back up to the front. It was a younger lady, and I think it was her mother. And as I called them up, I began to pray for them, and I had them just lift their hands. And I'm on stage, like 30 feet away, and as I'm just praying and prophesying over them, and I began to talk about just the love of God overwhelming them, and I began to talk about debt cancellation. I don't always pray for that, but I just began to say, the Lord's just going to cancel your debts and just start releasing that. And just the presence of God overwhelmed them, and this lady went down on the floor just weeping. I mean, just the presence of God was so touching her. She was overwhelmed. And anyway, got a message from her daughter who was with her a few days later, and she said, and the message came back, said, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. You prophesied over my mom on, just the other Sunday about debt cancellation. And she said today she found out that she had $27,000 of her debt canceled. I said, what?
Wow.
You just mean like 2,700? And she said, no, $27,000. And so it's just awesome seeing the goodness of God put on display. We're just boasting in Him. It's just His goodness, So there's been so many testimonies, but so that was one of them.
Yeah, well, God is I just posted about this on social media yesterday, but God is into the details. If it matters to you, then it matters to Him. He cares for us, and we are able to cast every single care, whatever your desire is, whatever is troubling you, whatever it is, even if you don't pray it, even if it's just a thought, He knows and it matters to Him. And so you can count on Him to make a way for you in your life. So as we're wrapping up your feature today for New Artists tonight, for New Artist Spotlight on Season 2 of the Sade Champagne Show, what are some words of encouragement that you want to share with anyone who is struggling with hopelessness, fear, or depression right now?
Well, I would just tell you as a listener, number one, that you need to know this, that you, just being you, is a 100% success. And you just existing is the greatest act of worship, because you are a one-of-a-kind treasure that God thought up before the foundation of the world. And He took into calculation the risk of not creating you, and the risk of saving you from whatever pain you may be going through, whatever suffering or contradiction or heartache that you've suffered in your life that seems like to you is unbearable and may seem to you like it would have been better if you just never existed. But I want you to know today that there is a God, your Father, who took all that into risk, and He knew that it would have been a greater risk to not create you in the first place, because that would have meant that He never would have had the opportunity to love you. And you are a being so amazing that you're worthy of His love and affection forever. And I want to just say to my listeners that are either unchurched or churched, that there's been so much wrong that you've been taught about what God's like. And I want you to know this, that God is 100% love, and He loves you 100%. There is nothing you could ever do to get God to ever stop loving you. He will love you forever. As Psalm 23 says, that His love, that His goodness and mercy shall follow you all the days of your life. And that doesn't stop when you take your last breath in this life. He will love you forever, and He will continually pursue you with His love. And there's nothing you could ever do to disappoint Him, because He's always been 100% convinced that you are worth His love. And so I just bless you right now, listener, that you are special, that your life matters, that you are not a mistake, that you are glorious and wonderful, and the desires of your heart are important, and that you don't need to try to be like anybody else, because just you being you is enough. And so I love you and bless you, and yes.
That was incredible. Everyone, you can go and check out Tim's music on iTunes. He's also on Amazon and anywhere else that music is sold online. His website is timwrightmusic.org. That's right spelled with WRIGHT. So timwrightmusic.org. His Facebook is also Tim Wright Music. I want to have you introduce our next song that we're going to play. It's your song, Beautifully Included. I love, love, love this song. And so I'm ecstatic for our listeners to be able to hear this. And so if you would introduce that for them, please.
Yes, I will. Thank you so much. And I have to boast in my friend Francois. He's from South Africa. He's the author of the Mirror Bible.
I love him.
Yes. Well, I love him too, and I just want to give a shout out to him. The Mirror Bible, you've got to get it. And I wrote this song out of inspiration from his rendering of Ephesians, where it talks about the dividing wall has been removed. And the first few lines of the song say that he's removed hostility, that there's, that he, what are the first lines of my song? I should know this.
You're not the only one. It happens to all of us.
I know. And the point of the song is that we're fully represented in Jesus, fully reconciled, and we're beautifully included in Him. It says there's no wall that stands between us. In Christ, God has decreed us to be beautifully included in Him. See, and the point of the song is that you're in Jesus. You're not just, He didn't just die for you or for Him to be near you or for you to be near Him or with Him. You're His physical body. You're one with Him. 1 Corinthians 17 says that anyone joined to the Lord is one spirit with Him. So we share a union with God and Jesus Christ, that you're so one that He just says you're my own physical body. So He brought us in. That's the message, and that nothing can separate us from His love.
So you heard it from Tim right first. Here is his amazing song, Beautifully Included, from his debut album, Live at Dreamhouse. Remember, someone is going to win a free copy of this CD tonight. Keep listening to the Sade Champagne Show on GrindHard Radio.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Have a good rest of the night.
Thank you, Sade. Oh, my God, that was great. Thank you so much.
Are you looking for a dynamic musical artist, performer, host, or inspirational speaker for your next event? What about a mentor, vocal instructor, or workshop leader for your school, company, or seminar? Contact Sade Champagne for countless professional services that are sure to fit your particular need. She is an in-demand, award-winning, and critically acclaimed musical artist, performer, inspirational speaker, and entrepreneur who is invited all around the world. She is known for having a powerful voice, turning ideas into action, creating, directing, and executive producing popular, charitable, and inspirational events, and bringing out the gold in others. Her services are for all ages, backgrounds, and environments. Contact Sade Champagne at SadeChampagneMusic@gmail.com. That's spelled SadeChampagneMusic@gmail.com. Sade Champagne Music@gmail.com to book her for your next event or project.
Hi, this is Arianna Carde from the Supermodel and You segment. Keep listening to the Sade Champagne Show on GrindHard Radio.
And now it's time for our final celebrity interview of the evening. This is one busy lady, and it took a bit of time to get this interview locked in because she's always on the go. Born in Los Angeles, California, raised in Sydney, Australia, and presently residing in Los Angeles, California, and traveling to Brooklyn, New York, Lita Lewis has traveled the world motivating people to pursue their dreams and reach their goals. With an African-American and Samoan ancestry, Lita developed a deep love and admiration for foreign countries, ethnicities, and a genuine appreciation for diversity and people from all walks of life. Outside of work and philanthropy, family is second to none to Lewis. Transforming and breaking traditional molds of the Americanized fitness image has been the staple of her brand, teaching young women to become the best version of themselves, whether skinny or curvy frames. That You Fit is all about accepting, embracing, and building strong minds, being healthier for life, finding inner balance, and pursuing and accomplishing personal growth, your best you. It's Lita's daily affirmation and the mission behind her brand. It is the foundation of the pledge that went viral, received national praise, and has become a part of her legacy in both the fitness world and beyond. Lita is also widely known for giving light to fans experiencing breakups, firings, deaths, and many of life's other challenges. In addition to her accomplishments on the stage, in the gym, and on the web, she is also an incredible public figure and motivational life coach, which I've had the pleasure of receiving from her inspirational speaking, and she is phenomenal. She can often be seen on the lecture circuit as a guest speaker. Please welcome my friend and inspiration, Lita Lewis. Hi, Lita. How are you doing tonight?
I'm well, thank you, Sade. Wow, what an introduction.
I could have kept going, but I was like, I'm just going to give them just a few of the bits about you.
There you go. Well, look at that. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for having me.
I want to thank you for being on the Season 2 premiere of the Sade Champagne Show on GrindHard Radio.
Awesome. Thank you.
So please tell us when you were first interested in health and fitness.
Well, it's funny. I never planned to be who I am in this space. It was all by chance and I guess fate. I worked corporate America back in New York for years before I started in this health and fitness space. Health and fitness for me was truly just a hobby. It was a side hobby to, my corporate full-time job. And over time, if you can sort of imagine a scale, my love for my job and my love for my hobby started to kind of like find an imbalance. And slowly but surely, I was not happy going into work and into office. And I was really living for this side hobby of mine where I grew to learn that I could help and inspire many others while doing so. So I took a leap of faith and quit my job, essentially, and have been pursuing health and fitness for the past 3 years.
Wow. And so when and what made you decide that you wanted to be a voice and role model for women of all body shapes? And also,
yeah, I think for me, as a woman, I kind of struggled with sort of identifying myself as healthy. There's a lot of images in mass media that project an idea or ideal look of what a healthy, fit, beautiful woman should look like, and I didn't fit that. However, coming from an athletic background, I've always felt strong. I always felt capable. I always felt that my body was worthy of a title of being, fit and beautiful. However, I could never identify with what that would look like when I was paying attention to what others were saying was supposed to look fit and beautiful. So I just came to this place where I started to look myself in the mirror and I was like, you know what? I don't have necessarily a role model or anyone to aspire to. But, what is the best version of myself and my body type? And that's kind of how this movement of, pronouncing that thick was, fit and beautiful just as any other shape and size is. And I started preaching that across my social media platforms. And it's sort of what I've become to be known as, a health and fitness expert in this field that is kind of not trying to necessarily be skinny, but just to be strong and be proud and be beautiful in your own skin.
That's really good. And so what has your experience been like being a woman of color, an African-American Samoan woman with a more muscular and curvy body in the fitness and sports industry?
As far as?
Do you feel like it's been, an easy thing for you? Do you feel like it's been a big adjustment? Do you feel like you've had a lot of support? Because there's not always a lot of different looks of women. It's usually one or two, maybe three different body shapes in the sports and fitness industry.
Yeah, for me, once I got over my own personal insecurities, it became very easy to be myself and to be very unapologetic about that. I think a lot of people, and I say that very loosely because I know that it is very difficult for some people to be like, I have these big thighs and I've always wanted to lean them out and I always wanted to be skinnier than what I am. And so it's very difficult for a woman to sort of look herself in the mirror and say, this is me and I love me. But for me, however, I was so sick and tired of kind of fighting my own body image and not finding peace in what I thought I was supposed to look like. So as soon as I realized that I didn't have to fit anybody's mold, I didn't have to aspire to look like anybody else but myself, I was truly at peace. And then to take it a step further, not only did I choose just to be me and just work on being the best version of myself, it then that self-love kind of sort of penetrated my life in other aspects where it even made me a more healthier, whole, person as far as all facets of life, whether or not it was, my relationships, or intimate relationship, or my relationship with my parents, or my sister, like everything about me growing into more self-love and acceptance into my own body, made the transition easier and easier and easier. Because, how crazy does it sound that that one of the most difficult things we can do as human beings, especially as women in this time, this era, is to literally just be yourself and be comfortable being yourself. It's kind of crazy, simple, but yet it happens to be truly difficult for most of us.
It's true. It's true because, like you said, there's always so many images and visuals and words that are being spoken over us, even sometimes the things that we speak to ourselves, let alone what we see around us. And so, like you said, that's the most revolutionary but the most simple thing is, like you said, to be who you are and to own that. That's huge.
Exactly. So this is what I kind of dedicate my life to, is just getting in front of women and telling them that they're beautiful and worthy, and just stop looking at other sources or external sources of what the definition of beauty is, and instead find that for your own self and then work on becoming the best version of that.
And I think that's one of the things that's cool about you. There's so many cool things about you, but one of the things is, obviously, yes, you are very physically beautiful, but I feel that your beauty in your spirit, your heart, and your mind is what exudes so much. And I feel like your outer beauty is simply a reflection and an overflow of the inner beauty that you hold.
Oh, wow. Sade, thank you so much. That was very kind.
It's the truth. And so has your popularity been growing over time, or do you feel like it's something that seemed to, happen more so recently and pretty quickly?
I think my popularity, I guess to answer your question, is definitely gradual. It didn't happen instantly by no means. And it's continually, a work in progress, just as I'm a work in progress. I use social media as kind of like an open diary, whatever's going on in my life and the things that inspire me, I share. And for that reason, there's people that choose to continue to follow. There was no, specific post or some big change in the game that sort of jumped my popularity at all. It's all been very gradual.
And so, listeners, we want to encourage you in that. If you've been noticing with a lot of the celebrity guests and people we have on here, their success and things that you're looking at, it's been gradual over time. There's no such thing as an overnight success when it comes to your dreams and your aspirations. It takes time. For some people it may look like it's shorter than others, but in all, it takes time. It's not an overnight thing.
Exactly. It is. That's very true. Very, very true.
Who and what inspires you?
Who and what inspires me? It's a good question. I'm always sort of inspired to live a life that's free and purposefully due to the people that raised me. My mother more so, and my father. I'm always inspired by the gifts and the gems of knowledge and wisdom that they've instilled in me, that keeps me on the right track and wanting to share and radiate glow amongst my community. Anyone that knows me well knows I live for my sisters. My sisters are my best friends on this planet, and equally just amazing people in their own right. they inspire me daily, daily. Just to want to be the best big sister I can be for them, first and foremost, which is kind of funny because it's kind of where my social media handle name came from. Follow Lolita. Something from a very young age, my parents would tell me, you have to do the right thing. You have to do what's right because you're a big sister and you have to lead by example. They're following you, hence the follow Lolita. So constantly, always inspired by my family. I think now as a grown adult and as I pursue, other goals and dreams in my life, there's people out there that absolutely inspire my journey. I can sound cliche and mention, the Oprah Winfrey's and I'm a big fan of Will Smith and characters that are very well known amongst the world. But I'd like to answer your question by saying it really is the ordinary or the average out there that inspires me the most, because I've been so blessed to tour the U.S. and run my boot camps and get in front of people, and it's in those moments that after the boot camp I get to hear a lot of hardships of what people are dealing with, and their shared stories really inspire me to continue being the person I am, because a lot of these conversations are either starting with, because of you, I've been able to, accomplish whatever it may be, or, this is my story. Can you help me? And I realized in that moment that, who am I to be asked, for them to ask me for advice? How did this come about? And that comes with just having trust in someone's opinion and how they choose to live their life. So I'm inspired to continue doing what I do because there's people out there that are truly listening and following the movement and that trust what I have to say. And so that in itself is what keeps me motivated.
And, and that's huge. And I feel like that is a part of your testimony and a part of your, for better lack of words, claim to fame, because as I told you, I really connected with you the day that we met, and you were such an inspiration, encouragement to me, and just the time that you take to spend with people and to speak to them, and you carry yourself with such a humility. And as I was listening to you, it was so interesting, not only when you were, when you were sharing your story and inspirational speaking, but in just our conversation, how you were talking about the value and the importance of loving who you are as you are, right where you are, and that is what helps to bring that transformation, not from this place of, oh, I'm hating myself and now I need to make myself better, but you really help people to see themselves from a place of value and great wealth and identity. And so as I've been sharing with you about, I've been on a journey recently over the past 10 weeks. I've been diving back into other dreams of mine with dancing and gymnastics and still incorporating other things I love within fitness and health. And it's been an amazing thing because, like you were saying, I wasn't thinking about just what's the outer, how can I look? Because, most people nowadays, they only work out for how they can look. They don't think about, no, how do you feel? Also, how are you progressing? What is your process like, your progress like? What is your acceleration like? And so I've been doing it for those particular things. And then obviously, of course, just how I'm looking and the transformation that's happened in my body has just been an overflow of that. And you've been a huge encouragement, inspiration to me with that. And I want to thank you, and let you know that's what you're doing for me. I know that's what you're doing for hundreds and thousands of other people all around the world without you even knowing it.
That's amazing, Sade. Thank you for sharing that. Of course, that's awesome. But you're absolutely right. I think that's one question that we tend to neglect in, these fitness journeys or these, as in pursuit of fitness goals. It's not necessarily how you look, but how do you feel? And when we can really answer that question, honestly, it can spark a whole lot of, a conscious awakening to a lot of things, not just your physical health, but your mental, emotional, spiritual health as well.
And I think that's the difference, too, between holistic health and people that want to be solely fit, because like you said, holistic health is the basis of mind, body, and spirit, and seeing it from inward first and then outward.
Exactly. That's something I've personally battled with.
I definitely understand that. Tell us about a time when you wanted to quit and how you overcame that. Speaking of battles.
Quit. In relation to fitness or in anything?
Just in life.
I'll be honest, that's a really hard question for me to answer because I've not been a quitter in my life. I don't. There's a difference between quitting and something finishing or having an end. I don't think I've truly quitted anything I've wanted to pursue, and I suppose that's something to be very proud of. I could speak on, 3 years ago when I quit my job to pursue health and fitness. I definitely was faced with days, if not weeks, of just going, what have you done? Like, why did you quit your job? Like, how are you going to make rent? How are you going to pay bills? Like, what is the situation here? And really questioning my decisions, which in turn had me think about the idea or possibility of kind of quitting and running back to something that I knew and something that was comfortable, like a 9 to 5. I didn't do it, I never quit, but I was definitely faced in that light numerous times, especially at the beginning, because I essentially went from, a very secure, well-paying salary to then jumping in the deep end and going, okay, how do I make this work? I don't having any idea as to how to work this out. So there was times where I came close to quitting. However, I've always been the type of person to be very resilient in nature, just in general. I always figured that I don't ever expect to quit, but I absolutely expect for there to be hurdles to jump, and brick walls to plow through. And that's something I think helps me in my journey, is knowing that to expect that. A lot of people think that, okay, I'm going to make a left and everything's going to be peachy. The truth is, no. If you're going to take a sharp left in any point in life, regardless if you're talking about your career or perhaps a relationship, know that there's going to be tribulations and difficulties. So that's one thing I think works in my favor, is that, not to sound like a pessimist, but I just expect there to be hardship. With that expectation, I've then been able to prepare myself for, the lows and the downfalls, and those valleys, so to speak. And it's just, I think more than anything, I could only really speak on a characteristic. I don't even know how to explain it. It's something that I think, I absolutely prey on. I understand that if I'm pursuing something that, at this point I believe is my God-given purpose with my life, I pray on it. I ask for guidance. I ask for help. I ask for the knowledge and the wisdom it's going to take to get through whatever I'm facing. Prayer and meditation for me is a daily practice. That's one thing that helps me, through the hard times and avoid, quitting. And then just self-reassurance. I can really kind of be my own coach, my own cheerleader, in a sense where if I'm down, I may allow myself to cry. I may allow myself to feel bad. But then I get right back up because I'm not going to, I'm just not comfortable, being on the ground, if that makes any sense.
Yes, it does.
A characteristic of mine where it's all right, boo-hoo, wipe your tears out and get on with it. And that's something that I realize now is something not easy for everybody. But once I sort of go through my little feeling sorry for myself, it's not a matter of if I'm going to get up. It's just a matter of when.
Wow. You are sharing so many quote-worthy moments right now, Lita. And so, you guys, you're going to be seeing me posting a lot of Lita's quotes, so don't be all surprised because she just said so many juicy things that I think is important to take into account. Like what she was talking about with you all, it's not being a pessimist to expect hurdles. that's actually, I believe, and being a true optimist is you are able to see the hurdles that are coming, or you experience what's happening. You don't deny that those things are coming or that it's happening, but that you can still prepare or still allow, even if obviously we can't always physically in our lives prepare for challenges that come, but mentally you can be aware, like, okay, yes, this is challenging, but I'm not surprised. So it doesn't have to come and hit you like something, like you expect your dream to be peachy. So I think that's really huge. And like what she shared as well, it is important to feel your emotions. It's important to go process through those things. But in that, doesn't mean that you have to stay there. And it doesn't mean that you have to accept that that's just the way your life is going to be. You're still able to keep getting back up, no matter how many times you have to get back up. So that was
exactly
huge.
Yeah, you always have a choice. You can choose to feel sorry for yourself. You could choose to, hide yourself under the covers for weeks, months at a time, or even years. Or you can just choose the opposite. It sounds simple, but it's never easy. But it's a simple decision. Always, you always have a choice.
So, what are you currently working on, and what does a typical day in your life look like?
A typical day in the life of me is really not that interesting at all, to be completely honest with you. I think, for the most part, I know that people have always assumed and perceived that my life is a lot more interesting than it actually is. I get up, I typically train myself. Then I have morning clients to attend to. Afternoons are typically spent back in my apartment in front of the laptop, and I'm returning emails and working on training programs, and there'd be certain conference calls or even meetings that I need to attend. And then, late afternoon, evening, I'm back at the gym working with my clients. It's really a typical day, not exciting at all. But I do get to travel on the weekends, which is great. Like as I mentioned, I tour running my Body Blast boot camp throughout the country, which is amazing.
So tell people about those as well, like with your Body Blast boot camps and also your other current projects and how they can get involved.
Yeah, so I spend the summers touring the Body Blast boot camp across the U.S. The next 2 dates or cities I'll be hitting will be the Bay Area in North Cali this Sunday, which would be July 17th. All details on my website. And then following weekend, I'll be in Chicago on the 24th to run camp. And the rest of the dates are a work in progress. I always post everything on my website, but definitely plan on hitting Baltimore and D.C. Atlanta is on the list as well, and as well as Toronto, Canada. And it's just an ongoing thing. I typically plan it, 2 to 3 weeks ahead of time, and then just sort of blast it across social media. And then apart from the actual tour, I'm currently working on, new training programs that are all no gym necessary, all body-weighted stuff that could be done in the comfort of your own home or outdoors.
Wow.
It's really exciting because I'm finding that there's a lot of women that, one, don't have time to run to the gym, or two, just don't fancy the gym. They're not fans of gym workouts, and I can absolutely understand that. So I wanted to create something that was very useful for that market and super affordable. It's like a $10 challenge, and super effective. It's a really great plyometrics, all body weighted movement. And then outside of that, I'm also revamping my apparel line so we can get these great phrases that we all love, like the thick thighs, save lives, and thick athletics that I like to push, and come up with some really cool pieces that we can all adorn on our bodies and kind of like look like a family and such.
That's really exciting. I'm looking forward to going to one of your Body Blast boot camps, the next one that you have in LA area. I've got to check it out for myself.
Yeah, well, as soon as I'm back home, I'm always gone during the weekends, but when the weekend that I will be remaining in LA, I'll definitely be posting all about it.
Awesome. And then finally, what advice would you give to someone interested in living a healthier lifestyle, someone who is wanting to enter the fitness industry, and any dangers that they should avoid?
Well, To answer the latter question, I think anybody that's trying to get into the health and fitness industry, I think it's very realistic to understand it's a very oversaturated market right now. A lot of people that, have some apps spoken through that, will want to sit there and call themselves a trainer, and there's also, different types of people and personalities that undergo surgeries and like to claim that they're, a fit and active person. And you really got to be very conscious of, like, who you follow and what inspires you to get into the industry. I would advise that anybody that's really truly passionate and genuine about helping others would be the people that really should enter, like, the space of health and fitness, when the purpose is meaningful and genuine. And then in which case, if that is you are dealing with a pool of, like, literally hundreds of thousands of people trying to do the same thing. My advice to you would be this. In a pool of hundreds of thousands of people calling themselves health and fitness experts, what about you separates you from everybody else? What makes you different? What makes you unique? What about your message is going to be able to really resonate and connect with people that you're trying to reach? I say find something that's niche to you, something that speaks to who you are as a person, is aligned with your message and your purpose, and then really highlight that about yourself so you can rise above everyone else and have a very unique platform. Because the truth is, no one is really reinventing the wheel here. Like, for the most part, as a personal trainer, we're going to cater workouts to our clients and their needs. When it comes to running boot camps and group sessions, we're going to do so, but it's really nothing different to the next person, and instead of thinking that, like, joining or starting a career that so many are doing, you need to really, again, separate yourself. So what about you makes yourself unique? So myself, as an example, I recognize that I'm a proud woman of color. I have a curvier, more muscular frame. I also want to teach people and inspire people just to love themselves and invest in self-love and be very mindful about not just the physical health, but our mental and spiritual and emotional health. So these are things I speak on daily. And then, in time, this becomes what I'm known for. Not just another trainer that is based out in Los Angeles, but somebody that has a message. So although trying to enter, again, this health and fitness space, find what is unique to yourself. Have a message, have purpose, be genuine about your mission, and just really resonate and really highlight those aspects about yourself and your business.
That's really, really good. We want to thank you so much, Lita, for being with us tonight on the Sade Champagne Show for our Season 2 premiere. As she was sharing with you guys, she has her next Body Blast Boot Camp is this Sunday. It's going to be in North Cali, and it's at 10 a.m. It's one class only. If you want to sign up for any of her boot camps, she's also going to be in Chi-Town in Chicago on July 24th at 10 a.m. as well. Go to litalewis.com/bootcamps. That's where you can sign up. Once again, that's litalewis.com/bootcamps. I'm going to post all the links on my social media so you guys can see it, and I'm going to share her flyer as well. And then if you want to stay up to date with her on social media, you just go to Instagram, follow the Lita, Lita, Twitter, follow the Lita, and also Facebook, follow the Lita. Am I missing anything else? Do you have Snapchat or any other social media that you want to share with them? Or YouTube, too. Look up YouTube as well.
Yeah, I'm going to be working on a lot more YouTube stuff. So I'm excited about that. And it's just an opportunity to utilize the YouTube platform and speak more in depth about things that I'm really passionate on, and not necessarily having to show you guys how to do a proper squat all the time. We don't really want to dive right into more emotional and spiritual health, which I'm excited about. And my YouTube channel, you can find me, just follow the Lita TV there. And I'm now trying to be as active as I can on Snapchat too. And in which case, that is it. I just go by my full name, which is just Lita Lewis on Snap.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for being with us tonight. I hope you have a great rest of the week, and I look forward to chatting with you soon. Next up, we have Dara McLean. with Wanted. You're listening to the Sade Champagne Show on GrindHard Radio.
Do you know of a young adult who has a passion for playing sports and who is determined to reaching their full potential as an athlete? Hi, my name is Michelle, and I'm a transformational sports coach and the founder of Vida es Oro. I earned a college basketball scholarship, and my purpose is to empower young athletes in reaching their full potential in sports and in life. I provide support and guidance in overcoming obstacles, and in return, the young athlete will build more confidence in their skills and abilities, which will raise their game to the next level. If you know of a young adult who is committed to taking their athletic potential to the next level, contact me by going to my website, www.vidasoro.com. That's www.v as in victory, IDAESORO.com, or email me at youthsports@vidasoro.com.
What's up, beautiful listeners? This is Christina Renee from the Sade Champagne Show on the What's Going On segment, and you're listening to GrindHard Radio.
Welcome back to the Sade Champagne Show on GrindHard Radio. You are tuned into the Season 2 premiere. Right now, I want to take some of your calls, and I want to hear from our listeners right now. Call 323-693-3043. Once again, that's 323-693-3043 now to chat with me live on air. And if you're already listening in, just press 1 so I can see you in the studio. Also, I'm giving away a free copy of Tim Wright's brand new CD. You can win either on the phone right now, or you can win through my Facebook or Twitter by answering the question I just posted. So you need to go there right now to see. We have a caller who's been listening in very patiently, and it looks like you have a question or you want to chat with me on air. I'm going to bring you into the studio. If you're cool with that, that's area code 228 and then 447. Once again, that's area code 228-447. I'm going to bring you into the Sade Champagne Show. Hello?
Yo, hello? Hello?
Hi, who is this?
What's happening, Sade Champagne? You already know what it is, man. This is your network mate broadcasting live 7,000 feet via satellite from up under the ground. GrindHard Radio's resident DJ Sergeant Rock, calling in to holler at you and check in with you. You know what I'm saying? What's good, love?
Oh, you are amazing. You can tune into the show all night, and you always support me on Facebook. You are the best.
Wow, thank you. You know what I'm saying? I was actually listening to the show, and I was very enlightened, you know what I'm saying, by a lot of the health tips and, you know, spirituality awareness and things like that of that nature. So, you know, I got to shout you out, send you a great big shout out. You know what I'm saying? I'm proud of you. I'm happy for you. Season 2, I already know you're going to have fun with it. It's going to be a blast. So I'm going to be checking in with you periodically, you know what I'm saying? Make sure you all right over there. Make sure you ain't killing nobody with all this beautifulness and health, wellness, and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
You are amazing. Like I said, I want to thank you for your support. It's so good to hear from another on-air personality on our network. And like I said, you're just so supportive and encouraging, and that's what I love about everyone that's on our network. We're a family, and we're all here for each other, and I just thank you for that. It means a lot.
Right. And I appreciate you, too. You know what I'm saying? It's good to show diversity. You know what I'm saying? It's good to show that we have other programs that, you know, other people can, you know, get into. You know what I'm saying? A whole totally different fan base, but all under the same umbrella. So, you know, that's a beautiful thing, you know what I'm saying? And once again, shout you out, Season 2, Sade Champagne Show. Y'all better keep it locked, stay in tune, because she's got a whole season to hit y'all with. So don't go nowhere. Keep everything locked to the #1 internet radio show in the country and the world. The world, Craig. We are GrindHard Radio. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, and also let everyone know, too, how they can listen into your show, because you have such a phenomenal voice, too, and I want them to support you as well.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you. Right now, I think we got like 2 more shows left this season before we take a break and come back with a re-up season after that. So this Thursday and this Tuesday, you can catch me on GrindHard Radio. You know what I'm saying? That's 10 Central Time. You know what I'm saying, for everybody in my area. You know, check out the show. You know, GrindHard Radio, we got so much more in store. And season 24 has been a blast. Season 25, we going to blow the roof off. You know what I'm talking about? So we got GrindHard Radio, Sade Champagne, Grown Folks Business, and we got Radio Divas coming back. So, you know, everybody needs to be on the lookout for that. And keep it locked right here. Blog Talk's #1 internet radio show, GrindHard Radio. You know what I'm saying? I'm enjoying
That's
this.
right. And make sure you guys check out DJ Sergeant Rock on Facebook too, you know, and check out, you know, all his social media because, like I said, he's very encouraging. He is about his business. He's really focused. He's determined. Just, you know, an amazing example of men in our society, and that chivalry is not dead, you know. And so I'm glad to be able to chat with him tonight and have his support.
And y'all make sure y'all keep supporting my girl, Sade Champagne. I know she's all over the place. There's a reason for that. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all the black queens that listen to the show, that recognize they are queens. And shout out to all the women in general, you know what I'm saying, no matter where you're from, you know, because it's different, it's enlightening. And I love the entire show tonight. I was just really I was over here just smiling, and I'm just listening. And I'm like, wow, this is just awesome. You know what I'm saying? Sade Champagne is doing it. So, you know, you got my support as well as the whole Team GrindHard family support as well. You know what I'm talking about?
Thank you so much. I appreciate you, DJ Sergeant Rock, a.k.a. Anthony, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of the night, and I look forward to chatting with you and catching you guys' show this weekend on Tuesday as well.
All right, for sure, and thank you. You know what I'm saying? I really enjoyed the show tonight, so, you know, just keep it locked. You already know you can tag me in anything. You already know I'm supporting you your every move, you know what I'm saying? So whatever you want to do,
thank you.
It's all right. GrindHard Radio, baby.
Thank you so much. That was so awesome. What a wonderful call that I received there. You know, I believe in the power of encouragement, and it's so amazing to see people like DJ Sergeant Rock who are supporting me and supporting our network, and also everyone else who listens. I'm very thankful to every single one of you. I want to let you know, once again, I'm giving away a free copy of Tim Wright's CD right now, live on air. You'll have the chance to win it. I'm giving it away through my social media. So just answer the question that I just posted, and I'll give it to you guys here as you're listening into the show. You can either answer one of these two questions. What has been your favorite part of summer so far? That's question number one. Or you can answer the question, what's your favorite childhood summer memory? So either what's been your favorite part of summer so far, or what's your favorite childhood summer memory? And so just post that on your social media. Make sure you hashtag Sade Champagne Show, or tweet me, Facebook me, Instagram me, and I will see your responses, and someone's going to win a free copy of a CD tonight. I want to thank you to everyone who tuned in tonight. I want to thank you for downloading, subscribing, and sharing my radio show. Next week's celebrity guest is award-winning musical artist, performer, actor, and philanthropist Dalton Sear. We will also have published author, trainer, and fitness personality Elisa Rieg for our first new Who Wrote That segment of the season. Castmate Lisa Lewalt will also be bringing a new motivational moment segment, and we'll have a new charity spotlight segment where I'll be highlighting the destined to live the Good Life Children's Orphanage in Zambia, Africa. I'm the official spokeswoman for these amazing children in the orphanage, and so I can't wait to share with you guys all about the kids who inspired me to start doing my own events back in 2009. Also, we're going to have our first ever Say What segment where I share some inspirational clips and words of encouragement from my favorite speakers. Some of them are going to be on the show. Actually, no, all of them are going to be on the show throughout this season. We've already booked to be on. Thanks to GrindHard Radio for the opportunity to create my own radio show. Thanks to Travis Miller for creating and producing my theme song, and Scott Swish for mixing the song. Thanks to my celebrity guests and friend, Lita Lewis, and special guest, dear friend, Tim Wright. Also, thanks to my castmates, Veronika Esquivel Winters, Ayokunle Falomo, and Arianna Carde. Our final song of the night is Travis Miller with Love Saves. He will finally be on our show next month with a very, very special episode that we're going to be happening. We're having a very, very special episode that I can't wait to share with you guys more about. It's going to be our race and identity episode. I'm bringing a panel of all black and white people from different backgrounds, from different walks of life, and we're going to have a discussion and also come to some solutions of how we can bring peace in our country, how we can come together, how we're more alike than what we think, and to really just understand one another and where we're coming from. And as I mentioned, this song is perfect for what we are going through right now in our country and around the world. I'm Sade Champagne, and thanks for listening to my radio show. I don't ever take your support for granted. We'll see you next Wednesday from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Pacific time right here on GrindHard Radio. Once again, this is Travis Miller with Love Saves.
Where dreamers dream, where dreams come true. There's no limit to what we can do. Turning no's to yes, leaving doubt behind, releasing the stress. We were born to shine.